Allan Kelly, Executive Chairman of Miramar Resources. Allan, thanks for your time.
Thanks, David.
Been on the board for about a year.
Yep.
What's been some of the highlights?
Yeah, we listed in October last year, raised a lot of money really quickly. The timing was perfect, and we've got on the ground pretty quickly at Gidgee, north of Kalgoorlie. So most of the focus of the company's been on that Gidgee project, and we've taken it to the point where we've got I think we've got potential for a new discovery at Marylebone. This is the target that we've been talking about that looks like Paddington. You know, we're directly along strike from Paddington. The geology is the same, the structure's the same, the scale's the same. We've got some really nice air core results over about 2 kilometres of strike. And you know, we think that's got all the hallmarks of a significant discovery of where it is. So that's been most of the focus. In the background, we're working a couple of other projects, and we've just done our first program at Glandor, which is about 40 k's east of Kalgoorlie, and we put out some results from that yesterday, and that's shaping up to be a pretty significant prospect as well. There were some historical diamond results there that were sort of up to sort of 6 metres at 30 grams, which is fantastic grade. And we've been able to join up those results with some historical air core results under the lake. And south of us there's a project called Majestic, which Black Cat are going to start mining. And we think it looks very similar to that. And that's a 500,000 ounce deposit. So, you know, if we can find something like that under the lake, we'd be very excited about that as well.
It's one thing finding a project and building out a resource, but having the infrastructure in place is also key. How endowed are these areas for infrastructure?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, our whole strategy has been about finding underexplored projects in good locations near existing infrastructure. So if you take Gidgee, for example, you know, we're 15 k's from Kalgoorlie on the highway. We've got Northern Star and the Super Pit to the south of us. We've got Kanowna Bell to the east of us, and we've got Paddington along strike to the north. So, you know, there's mines and plants galore around Gidgee, and Glandor is pretty similar. Black Cat, as I said before, they've got a pretty large land holding around us, and they're going to build a mill at Majestic, which I think, as the crow flies, is about 6 kilometres. So, you know, if we find something at Glandor, then we obviously go talk to Black Cat or Silver Lake about some sort of mining JV or toll treatment deal. So our preference is not to build a processing plant. We want to find it, create value that way, and then monetise it somehow, you know, either sale or JV or toll treatment. So yeah, that's our strategy in the Eastern Goldfields.
You're not a stranger to M&A. You're surrounded by significant players, as you said, who have their mills and the operations. Are they keeping an eye on what you're doing? Yeah,
well, it's funny. Northern Star, obviously, watching what we're doing. You know, they bought KCGM, and they're actually drilling on our southern boundary at Gidgee at the moment, because there's a deposit there that looks like it might even go onto our ground as well. And we've also had, you know, nothing about sort of mergers and acquisitions or anything, but we've been talking to other people like Black Cat or Silver Lake about what we're doing as well. So I think, yeah, as we get more results and as some of these things look like they're turning into deposits, I think there'll be a bit of interest in what we're doing.
A busy first year. What does the second year look like?
Yeah, we've been on the ground, you know, for a year. We've worked across 3 or 4 projects. We've done work on Gidgee and Glandor in the Eastern Goldfields. We've got our Randalls project granted, and then we've done some work up in the Gascoyne too. We're actually waiting on some results from our whale shark project at the moment. You know, I'd like to be sort of 12 months down the track. You know, I'd like to be looking at a discovery at either Gidgee or Glandor. So we've got a bit more air core drilling to do on a couple of those projects, but I'd like to be starting to do bedrock RC drilling on those, and then, you know, if we don't have a resource, I'd like to be looking at it going, yes, we've got a discovery here, we've got a bedrock, you know, discovery that looks like we're going to have some value. So that's where I'd like to be in 12 months' time, and I think we can achieve it.
And funding? Are you well funded to get this done?
Yeah, we raised 8 million in the IPO. So far, we've spent about 75% of our sort of cash on the ground. We're a very lean team. So where we sit sort of 12 months in is about 3.7 million in the bank still. So we're sort of about halfway. So we've got plenty of cash to keep, you know, doing a fair bit of work before we need to go back and tap the market for more money. You know, I'm obviously hoping that we get results that drive the share price that enable us to do that. But we don't, you know, there's no rush right now. We want to see what we've got first.
well-funded and exciting exploration portfolio and a strong team to deliver, and who have delivered.
Yep.
Exciting times ahead for Miramar and its shareholders. Allan, thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot.